Oh, everybody. I spaced it. It's time to go live. I did not know this. What up, Gig? Going fishing, man? It's nice this morning. It's 42 degrees, man. You can't complain. Sun's going to come up. Oh, hold on. Nice. Oh, it's 4. Get off there. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, got that. Move this down here. That right there. Move this over here. There we go. Get the mail up here. I'm going to have to shut her down about 8 this morning. I got a report to do. No. It's a movie. Black guy from Saturday Night Live made it. Or was in it. It was hilarious. Okay. But that was one of his pickup lines. All sexy. Was it, can I buy you a fish sandwich? My son and his buddies turned me on to the movie, and they used to say it all the time, and it stuck with me, I guess. I don't know, it's back, that'd be early 2000s, maybe, I don't remember. Can I buy you a fish sandwich? Everybody have a good weekend. Hey, what up, dog? Good morning, buddy. I don't know where time goes. I just didn't get anything done, man. I did make a big pot of chili yesterday, though, man, dude. It's frost. I seen frost on the ground. That means to me it's winter time, chili time, and it was so on time. It's a huge pot, which means I get to eat it for the next 3 or 4 days, and I'm not complaining. Yep. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. Since I don't watch the NFL, there ain't really a whole lot of news I could have missed, is there? Because it ain't for me. How to sign up for weather, text, and updates. What's everybody's opinion on the winter this year? We're going to have a good one or no? I keep hearing we're going to have a wet one. Killing it good or killing it bad? Yeah, I let little guy out the door this morning. I opened the door and stood there and looked at him. He was waiting for me to hook his little thing on his little cable. I'm like, go on, man, you can run this. You can run this morning. He looked at me like, dude, you got to be kidding me. And off he went. He's out there about 30 minutes, come up the front door. So I had to open the front door, though. I don't like opening the front door this early in the morning. So I went and got my pistol out of my room and brought it in here and laid it on the table just in case. I live in the country on a dead-end street. It's not like people want to come by, but you know what I mean? But you just never know these days. Stranger stuff has happened. You know, like people getting followed home from the store and stuff like that. Which that's the best part, I guess, about a dead-end street. If you follow me home, you're not going to go nowhere. And I got a long driveway and a gun in the car, so it's going to be pretty obvious that you followed me to my crib. Oh, no. I got a busy week this week. I got to take my CT scan tomorrow. Wednesday to get her pain pump filled. Then I got my physical Thursday, which I'm not looking forward to. And I got to talk to my doctor about some stuff. It's like, they're probably going to want to run tests and crap like that. And since they don't have the facilities to do it at that doctor's office, usually end up either going to the VA up in Fort Wayne or Marion, or they find something, provider here in town and send you to them, which is what's happened with, let's see, my knee surgery and my shoulder surgery. They done that, which is kind of cool because I lived in Noblesville. I'd have to go to Indianapolis to Rowdybush, and that place is a pain to get in and out of, and the parking and stuff's horrible. So I kind of dig the fact that they, send us here. Oh, buying the heck out of stuff you need to make. Okay, I'm with you. Heck yeah, man. I killed it. I had 2 pounds of ground beef, 5 cans of beans, 4 cans of tomatoes, big old giant onion cut up, and it came out pretty good actually. I was a happy with it. Happy guy. He's a happy guy. What the time is it? Okay, it's early. I was going to say, man, my show keeps getting less and less people. I'm just going to have to stop doing it. Oh, no. I'm trying to find us something interesting. I ain't seeing much. Because, nobody got killed or arrested in town this week. That sucks. Oh, man, I do know there's this guy from over in Henry County, Newcastle, town directly south of us, gets convicted of child molesting, facing 40 years in prison, and gets probation. I read that and thought, you gotta be kidding me. So I forwarded it on the Facebook, and people in my town were like, you gotta be kidding me, and started going through and looking into it. They ain't got nothing better. There's amateur investigators. Come find out the guy owns a drugstore there in Newcastle, and he's prominent in the community. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. How'd you like to be that kid whose life he ruined and gets probation? I was a bunch of shit myself. And it just goes to show, if you know someone or you got money, you're going to get. I just, and I know everyone kind of might have emailed or called that judge's office last week. And probably a good chance he don't get elected the next election, but I don't give a shit. I don't like any of them anyway. This town's horrible, horribly corrupt. You guys made some on Friday. Yes, you did. It's that time, man. I love chili. I'm telling you. Oh goodness. Yep, I could eat chili a couple times a week this time of year. But it's always that first pot of the winter, and you ain't had it since last summer or last winter. You know what I mean? When I raced or rode, if we weren't racing in the wintertime, we'd go play riding on Sunday mornings. There was a place out here by town you could ride for. It was owned by the city, or the leased by the city. The land was actually owned by the water company. It's out there at the reservoir where I carp fish. On the other side of that, there's a motorcycle place. Been there since I was a kid, and just this year they closed it up for some reason. I don't know why, but there's nothing better than, I was married at the time, telling me, hey man, I'm go riding Sunday. I'll be back about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Okay, I'll make a pot of chili. Man, dude, you go ride all day. Come on, you talk about it makes you hungry. I remember I taught my girlfriend to ride. I lived in Noblesville, which mistake, don't ever teach your wife or girlfriend do anything that you do for fun, because then it's not fun anymore. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But the first time I took her riding, and I don't know, she done pretty good actually, but we rode for 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5, I don't know. And we were headed home, and she's like, I've never been this hungry in all my life. I'm like, I know, man. Dirt bike riding makes you hungry. You burn every calorie your body's got stored up gets burned up. He's like, yeah, exactly, because it ain't no fun no more. Yep, I learned my lesson about dirt. Now, fishing ain't bad. It's okay going fishing with them. That's fun. But dirt bike riding, no. That's my sanctuary, or it was my sanctuary, and I let her invade my sanctuary. And it didn't last very long. I was afraid she's going to get hurt. And she was a sissy, so if she got hurt, it was going to be a lot of whining for a couple of weeks until she got better, you know. She had shoulder surgery, and you'd have thought they'd cut her leg off or something. And I remember looking at me and her saying, and you mean you've had 2 of these done before? Yep, it ain't no fun, is it? I told you that before you done it. I told her, I said, if it don't hurt so bad that you can't stand it, I wouldn't have shoulder surgery. Oh, that, Mom said something about making a big pot and freezing some of it. So yeah, that'd be a good idea. I need to get a vacuum sealer. I think as much, fish and stuff like that, that'd probably be a good idea. Do you vacuum seal them and then put them in the freezer? Is that how it works? I don't know how to do anything. I need to put my little boat on the marketplace, and I'm torn between my motorcycles. Man, I just can't bring myself to put them on there. I don't know. I definitely can't. My dirt bike's what I need to sell because I haven't used it. But man, it'd be the first time in, I don't know what, 30 some years that I wouldn't have had a dirt bike in the garage. I just don't know. Don't know about that one yet. But I ain't got to worry about it because the guy said that boat ain't going nowhere. So it kind of flattens them out about like that then, huh? That's a good idea, man. Hey, good morning, Gavin. How are you today? I don't think I know you. Never seen you before, but welcome. Be honest with you, man, this is just people we sit around and BS, dude, to be honest with you. Sometimes some people pop up and come up here and hang out, and sometimes they don't, but it's basically it originally started out as a channel about catfishing. And you're in the UK? Cool. But yeah, it started out as a catfishing channel originally, and it has progressed to pretty much whatever. Anything goes. Where are we at here? It's not kid friendly, so you probably don't want to have young ones around if you're watching. Okay, I'm just giving you a heads up on that because sometimes we get a little out there and it's my fault, but it's probably made for adults. I have a disclaimer I always make when it gets too carried away, and it says this show is not intended for children. Should you let your children watch this show, it's a good chance you're a bad parent. Someone should take your kids from you. Something like that. Oh, that's my neighbor backing out. I was about to say something's beeping. U.S. Navy helicopter and fighter jet crash in separate incidents in the South China Sea. Well, that sea looks rough right there, too. Dang, that's horrible. Children should be seen and not heard. I like how it used to be that way. Remember back in the day, that adults table and the kids table at Thanksgiving. I don't even know if they still do that. But you knew you had made it when they progressed you into the adults table. I got a notification that I'm live now. Yeah, nice. Except dogs are different than children. They get heard whether you want to hear them or not. Mine do first thing in the morning at 5 a.m., that's for sure. Little guy got up and I had no idea what time it was. And usually when he jumps off the bed, it wakes me up. And he woke me up and I'm like, what are you doing? And he usually jumps up and hits the door like, dude, come on, we got to go. And I looked at the clock. It was 5 o'clock. I was like, oh, shoot, we slept in, didn't we, buddy? We got up and that's when I let him out once on his little cable to go pee while I got the cat his breakfast and stuff like that. And then the next time I thought the big dog wanted to go out. So I opened the door for her and he was standing there and I was like, go on, man. You just go out and run around for a while. It's dark. Nobody will mind. And I have to read about the helicopter crashing. I know when I was at Fort Campbell in air assault school, they still had the Hueys back then, but they were, what was it called? It's the Apache, is that right? That was replacing the Huey. I think it was the Apache that was replacing the Huey, but whichever one it was, we had rappelled out of it twice during air assault school, and in the next few days there had been one that crashed somewhere, so they all the new helicopters, whatever they were, I think they were Apaches. Let's see. And so we finished out air assault school rappelling out the old Hueys, which I thought was funner because it had the rail. You'd step out on the rail, and then lean out and bound away. It was pretty cool, actually. One of the coolest things I'd done. Let's see. Apache helicopter. Yeah, no, that was the little attack one. That ain't it. Shoot. Now we got to figure it out. It's going to drive me nuts. Let's go. Army helicopters. There's the
Army helicopters have different models for various tasks, such as attack.
I don't need to hear that, lady. Let's see. You can't read that darn thing, but there it is. Military helicopters in the service. There it is right there. It was the no, that's some Navy shit. I want Army. Nobody wants to go in the Navy. I'm kidding. Don't get a bunch of Navy people yelling at me. There we go. That's the one. Maybe I should have said old Army helicopters. I keep forgetting that I'm old now. They may have replaced those. There it is, right there. That's the one. Let's see what it says here. It tells us what kind it is. The Army's chopping away at its chopper fleet. I don't really care. Black Hawk, that was it. Yeah, it was the Black Hawk. And they grounded them. It was a pretty cool helicopter. All right, brother. And I don't know if you've ever rode in a helicopter, but it's such a bizarre sensation because you're just sitting still, all of a sudden you're up and off you go. It was really cool, actually. And it was one of the things I got to do in the service that I was glad I got to experience because I didn't think about it back then. Naturally, you're young, you're in the Army, you don't care. And you realize as you get older, not very many people actually ride in helicopters in their lifetime. So it was cool. And it was at Fort Campbell because it was an air assault school where like Bragg's an airborne school, air assault repels and naturally airborne jumps. And it was just every day you seen helicopters flying over top. I mean, every day, except Sunday, it usually slowed up. Black Hawk, they used to call him the Crash Hawk. What's up, Nate? It's the Apache. That's the one I was thinking of. No, the Black Hawk. That's right. I don't know. I just said it a minute ago. So bad. What you doing, Nate? How you been, man? Get back. I started out to go fishing Saturday, was it? One of the days, Friday or Saturday, the wind was blowing horribly. I didn't know till I went outside and I was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. It was blowing hard enough if I'd have cast it, it probably blew the line back behind me. And now I definitely ain't gonna get to go. Well, I might get to go Friday. I don't know. I got a lot of crap to do this week, a lot of doctor's appointments. Which sounds like a lot of fun. Nah, it ain't bad actually. I did do a big photo dump thing on Facebook Saturday. I forgot all about that. Burned up a couple hours. It was about me and my dad's last motorcycle trip. And I forget how many pictures it was, but it's like each picture I told a little story about, what that picture was and what we were doing or whatever. It was really therapeutic actually. Some of them it was tough, to look at and then post. But like I said, I think it was pretty healthy to do it. It was just hard. The biggest catfish. My biggest catfish is about, for me, because I haven't been doing it that long, is 10 pounds and 8 ounces. But there's some people that come in here that their PBs would be around 70 pounds, maybe something like that. A lot in the 40s. Now, come to think about it, you don't see a lot anymore people with the stickers, say like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, or whatever. You just don't see that as much. It used to be a big thing, three or 4 years back. Which I can guarantee you that when I get my boat, they'll be on it. I'll start. I already qualify. I can put the 10-pound one on there. I can't remember. I called blue with J Dog. It was in the teens, I guess. So that 10 pounds isn't right. It was in the high teens. Which, when you're fishing on a river, man, because I've always fished on lakes, it's so much different. And I didn't know it that because of the current, you catch a fish and you're just like, man, dude, this thing must be huge, and then it gets up there and it's not that big, but it's because you're fighting against the current and stuff. It was really, kind of eye-opening for me, I guess, because I had never done it before, and I remember the first one I got, and J Dog saying, how is it a big one? How is it? I was like, it feels big to me. I have no idea, but I know it's hard to reel in. That was after Eric stole my first fish, in case he's listening. In fact, let's send some text out. Man, I had a friend of mine from high school get a hold of me yesterday. And I don't know what this guy done to make his karma so bad. But I felt so bad for this guy. Hold on. He son was in the Marines and got wounded over in the Middle East, come home, got Purple Heart stuff, got wounded pretty good. And his PTSD was real bad. He just, unless you've been there, I suppose we can't. People like us can't comprehend it. We haven't been there, so we have no idea. But I could see how you would have nightmares. You know what I mean? I can vision it in my mind how you would have nightmare after nightmare. But anyway, he got hooked on pain pills, and that led to heroin, and he OD'd. I don't know, about 6 months ago, maybe. And then this guy and his wife, they've been together, I don't know, 38, 39 years probably. And he said one night they were sleeping, she kept stopping breathing. He said, and it freaked him out, so he'd wake her up. Hey, you got to wake up, man. You're not breathing. And he said after about 4 or 5 times, she got mad at him and said, quit waking me up. I'm all right. And he woke up the next morning and she was blue. It's like 2 or 3 months after his son dies. And calls the 911 names and stuff. Well, they bring her back around, but she's in ICU for 2 months or something like that. And she's home now, but she has a long road to recovery. I mean, she's, basically he has to do everything for her. And I guess he was just really stressed yesterday. And I told him, I said, dude, I know exactly what you're going through. I said, I went through it with Dad. I said, you literally have to do everything for them. And I told him, I said, believe me, there were times I'd just sit down and cry. I'd be so stressed that you just, if you haven't been there, you just don't know what it's unbelievably stressful. But man, I sure felt bad for him yesterday. I couldn't imagine. For one, losing your son, I couldn't imagine that. I just couldn't even imagine that. I mean, I know what it done to my parents when my brother died. In fact, it changed them forever, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm like, dang, dude. And I told him, I gave him my number. I said, dude, just call me anytime. I said, I don't care if it's the middle of the night. If you're having a bad way to go, call me. I said, it's not a problem. I think he lives in Tennessee, maybe. I know his family was from down there when the town I lived in had all these factories. So I don't know, back in the 50s, maybe they sent buses and people down to Tennessee to recruit people to come up here and work in the factories. So my hometown was made up of a lot of people that were from Tennessee and Kentucky areas. My mom, her family was from Kentucky. So I think it was Tennessee his family was from, and that's where he moved back to. So when you're having a bad day, just remember it could always be worse. I always tell myself that. Where, in the overall scheme of the world, for instance, we got it made. We're the poorest people in this country that have a TV, a house, and a couple cars. That's considered poverty if they don't make X amount of money. And there's so many people that are so worse off than that around the world that, our poverty is nothing. Most people, almost everybody has something to eat. I mean, there's very few people that go hungry in America. And if you do, it's because you don't take the initiative to go out and get some food from somebody. There's churches. I mean, there's always somewhere you can get some food if you need it. I seen this video yesterday. The Hodgkin brothers had it on there. There's these people in this hotel room. It's like a suite hotel room, 2 rooms, and there's 15 of them. And they were pleading for money to get food and pay for their hotel because the government shut down. And of them 15 people, I counted 7 or 8 adults perfectly capable of working. And that was my first question. Why are you guys working? I'm not going to give you any money. You got a whole room full of people. Between the 5 or 6 of you, each of you worked and made $150 a week, you'd have more than enough to feed and pay for that room and everything. And I don't accept the there are no jobs excuse. There's jobs. There may be jobs you don't want to do. An infinite supply of seafood. There you go, Gick. See, there's always food somewhere. I got rivers around me and ponds and stuff. There's plenty of fish to eat if I want that. But the excuse there's no jobs. It just, I can remember I got out of service and started going back out again with the girl I dated in high school and got her pregnant. And at one time I was working, when I first started the cable company, I'd work there from, I think I usually left the house about 7 in the morning, and we'd get off at 5, and at 5:30 I'd be at the gas station Monday through Friday and work till 11 o'clock at night. So I don't accept the aren't no jobs and I don't make enough money. But I guess because it's hard now, they don't want to. I don't want to do that. It's so hard. I won't be able to do my social media stuff with my friends and be hungry then. I'm hard that way. I can't help it. I can't stand lazy people who don't have any initiative to go out there and get it. I mean, there's so many opportunities in this freaking country if you just try. You're going to get told no a lot of times. Morning, Chris. How are you, buddy? But every now and then someone's going to say, yeah, come on in, man. I'll give you a job. If you try hard enough. And I'm one of them guys who wouldn't take no for an answer, though. You know what I mean? They tell me no, I call them the next week. Hey, man, I was calling to see if you hired anybody yet, Two things happen. They either tell you to quit calling them or they get tired of hearing from you and they hire you. One of the two. That's how when I had to, I was addicted to pain pills. When I had to get clean because I had to take care of mom and dad, I had to do something, man. And I got a hold of VA and they had a waiting list back then. They don't have them anymore. If you got a drug problem, you get right in. But so I called and talked to the lady in Marion. She said that she had put me on the list and there was one or two in front of me. And I told her, I said, that's not going to work. I said, I got to get in and see somebody now or pretty quick. So for probably 5 or 6 days in a row, maybe, I called her every morning at 8 o'clock. Hey, did anybody cancel? Did anybody cancel yet? And I think she just got tired of hearing from me and said, yeah, they did. Come on in today and we'll get all the stuff started for you. But, it was my life I was saving. How you doing, Chris? You working today? I need to go get some bluegill, man. I just hate cleaning. No, you know what I mean? I would have a freezer full if I didn't have to clean them all. Hey, good morning, Billy. How are you? It's really good to see you today. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get a sunrise this morning or not. Let's see if I see any stars. Oh. You come. I knew little guy heard that door open. I knew he'd come running. You ain't getting out to run again, maybe tonight, but not again when it gets daylight, you little weasel. No. Nice try. Go back in there and go back to bed. I knew because I let him out to run this morning. I knew every time I open the door today, he'll come running in here. That's too much. But I will be ending 8 o'clock today because I got a report I got to do, which I had planned on doing yesterday, but I don't think, heck, I didn't get home from church till almost 1:30. Had a baptism and stuff, just ran over. And I believe you shouldn't be in a hurry just to sit, have a sermon, whatever, and everyone gets up and leaves real quick. Nah, man, spend a little time in God's house. It's good for you. Lord knows I need it. And I walked in and Mom said, did you stop and get the stuff to make chili? And I was like, no, I didn't. So I had to go get the stuff to make chili. And then it probably took me, I don't know, an hour and a half or 2 hours to make the chili. And then I had to sit here and smell chili while it cooked, and it was killing me. I made a big old thing of cornbread, I don't know if anybody do that. You have I always use a little box cornbread. I always have forever. And I always take it and put a big piece in the bottom of my bowl and then put the chili over it. Anybody do that? If you don't, you should give it a try. You can thank me later. You know, they were talking in church yesterday because we're having a thing Wednesday night at a park in Newcastle, chili cook-off and bluegrass band and stuff. Fall festival thing. And someone said something about, and you got to have peanut butter sandwiches. And I've never heard, I guess if you have chili, you have a peanut butter sandwich too. You know what I mean? I'm going to try it today. I usually just have my chili and the cornbread, Is it? I'm going to try it then. That's why, because everyone seemed to agree in church, and I'd never heard of it before. So I'm going to give it a try. Chili and a peanut butter sandwich. Cool. I'll give it a try today and see what happens. And it's not jelly, just peanut butter. I could put some honey on the peanut butter, though. Would that work? Now, I have been in the past when I made chili, I always use sugar to, you always put sugar in to take a little of the tang out of the tomatoes or whatever. And someone suggested using brown sugar instead of sugar, and man, it was on time. So I shall use brown sugar from now on. Peanut butter sandwich and chili. Yep, I'm just going to have to try it. It sounds good, actually, when I thought about it, sitting there in church. It was a good church yesterday, man. Good preaching yesterday. In fact, I think I'm going to go back and watch it again today. Because they do it live on YouTube, and, naturally you can go back and watch it. Like you can do these, I don't even call it a show. Did you like my title? No show today. Why would there be a title? Because there are some people who look at it, oh man, I wish you'd have a show today. They're out there. Let's see. Been read all day. Well, I don't know. We better just get ice. We had to drink this ice latte thing. In there. See the Starbucks ones or whatever at the gas station are $5 or something like that. Get these at Aldi's for $1.57, and they taste just like them, if not better. I've been tearing them up. The colder they are, the better they are. The jelly and the PB&J is the sugar. Yeah, they didn't say nothing about jelly. They all said peanut butter sandwiches, so I'm going to go with peanut butter. I got to go to Aldi's today. It never ends, man. It's a continuing cycle of shit I got to do. Trying to think. But work will be slowing down here pretty quick. Well, unless they lower the rates again or something. If they don't lower the rates again, work will be slowing down. Yeah. Aldi's is awesome, man. I'm telling you, they got some good stuff there. It's from Germany. The store is the franchise, and I like shopping there. Are you dog? Yeah, it sounded like when I heard it, I thought, man, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'd never thought of it before. Because I use it when I make my sloppy joes, I use brown sugar. Aldi's duck. I don't think I've ever had duck in my whole life, to be honest with you. I honestly don't think I've ever had it. I wouldn't even know how to fix it. Now, I can remember when I was a kid and we'd had the boat up at the Salomon, the old cabin cruiser and stuff, we'd always get Cornish hens, cook them on the grill. In fact, I haven't had them in a long time. I may have to get some of them. Gig, I'm going to trust you on that one. The only reason is because I like sauerkraut. So dark brown sugar in the sauerkraut. Man, you're going to have to come up live and show me that once and eat it first before I try it. Because I just can't. I can't picture it, man. Because I know up in Wisconsin, there's a lot of German descendants in Wisconsin, and every one of the gas stations have like the roller hot dogs and stuff. Every one of them had, you know how you got like onions and stuff like that in them little tray things. Every one of them had the sauerkraut. Every gas station. That's where I started eating it out originally. Because I'd never really had it before that, and I was like, man, I like this stuff. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm wondering. How you would, you have to figure it out, I guess. Like I said, you have to show me that one before I do it. I trust you on it. I mean, I know you're probably not lying to me, but God, it's such a opposite combination. You know what I mean? Just even the name sauerkraut and sugar. But I trust you on that one. I just have to see it before I do it. So maybe I don't trust you that much on that. I got a darn hangnail. I mean, nuts. I hate it. Fingernail maintenance. Yep. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna be walking by there. Better kill that. I need to mow one more time. I got to get out here. The leaves are falling. I got to get on them before they get too thick, and then they build up in front of the mower, and it makes it harder to mow them up. I don't rake and I don't blow leaves. I mow leaves. If you got a mulching blade, it works pretty decent. And the bad part is, like my backyard, there aren't no trees in the backyard, but there's leaves back there. I'll be right back. There we go. It used to be we'd have 12, 13 people in there about this time. I sure pissed a lot of people off, didn't I? Oh, well, I'm about done with the YouTube shit anyway. I'll start making funny videos. When I filled out Dad's stuff with Medicaid and them, I had to put my phone number down. Friday, I had 10 calls about Medicaid A and B supplement or whatever it is, this shit they're selling. 10 of them. I average about 7 a day. And there's no way to stop it. And right now, because it's what, open enrollment time or something, it's unbelievable. And I usually, you can tell when you answer it if it's going to be one or not just by the sound it makes. And I usually just hang up. Some of them Friday, I decided just to play the game with them. And yeah, oh, okay, yeah, I'm 65, but and let them push me on through to a human. It is, it's later than 5:15. It's 6:17 here. This is God's country time. You're on the wrong time. That's what it is over there. It's 6:15 God's time. But anyway, there was a few of them, and they'd come on in. I'd act like I was old and couldn't hear them. What can you say? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You're gonna have to talk louder to me, okay? I'm sorry, but I can't hear you right now. And I fucked with them for about 15 minutes, and then just go my voice. And nah, man, I'm okay. I'm not old enough for it yet. Click, and they would not be happy. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. Because I've asked them to take my name off that thing, quit calling my phone. And there's no way I can find to get my name off there, or my phone number anyway. It's not really my name. And the funny part is, I don't know how they do it, but when the number comes up, it looks like a local number. It'll say, Indianapolis, Indiana, or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know how they do it, but every time it's a local number. And I get real tired of it, actually. Okay, mom's gone. I can turn the cam back on. And the bad part is, because of my job, I've got to answer it. You know what I mean? Even if it's them, I still have to answer it just in case it was someone calling wanting to have an appraisal done or something. Because sometimes I get people that, will just call me out, because there's a register or whatever with the state you go to and find an appraiser in your area. And sometimes I'll get a call from someone. Maybe they're wanting to sell the house to a friend or a relative or something like that, and they need to have an appraisal done, but not not through the bank or whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to sell it to them with contract or something. That's happened a few times. I don't do divorce appraisals. You're just asking for a headache. Because one side wants it valued real high and the other side wants it valued real low. So, for a fact, whoever side you're doing it for, and you should just appraise it at what it is anyway. Don't listen to their high or low bullshit, because it don't really matter to me. It's what it is. But your appraisal is going to be compared to someone else's at some point in this process. And if there's a vast difference, there's a pretty good chance you end up in court giving testimony about your appraisal. And I just don't think I want to do that. Really? Scotty, it's hard telling, man. You may have filled something out and they sold your number to them people. I mean, I know how it's evident. I know how mine got on there, because I was filling all that Medicaid stuff out for Dad. But man, and I'm not kidding you, man. There's nobody ever calls me. Okay, everyone knows I hate talking on the phone, so none of my friends call me. No, 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 no. If you look, and it starts right here, maybe you can even see it. And it starts there, and it just goes. Oh, and goes. Oh, I can't see it and do it at the same time. I mean, there's all the way back to Tuesday, and there's hundreds of them, man. There's hundreds of them. I'm just like, man, what in the heck? See, last Thursday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What do you do, man? What do you do? I need to delete that whole. That's what I need to do. Delete, select all, delete. There we go. Now we'll start new, and I'll see how many I get this week. It sucks. I know that, man. Now, why on earth would you send me a message at 6:15 in the morning? Edinburgh. That's down by the river, I think. Yep. Rates in the low fives. Real estate's went nuts. There we go. Anyhow, that's my vent about the darn phone people. I thought about just turning the camera on my laptop here and start recording them when I'm talking to them, see if any good content comes out of it. Because some of them, naturally they're real friendly when you first start because they want you to buy whatever it is the hell they're selling. Really? That's wild. So you got a phone you only use for YouTube Live? That's interesting. Yeah, I don't have the answers, man. There's my butt. What's the matter, little man? Huh? So if you're getting them, that means other people are getting them. Eventually, someone that's going to reach up to Congress eventually, and they're going to pass a law like they did the other stuff. Because I'm on like do not call list and things like that. That you go, the government had or whatever. You put your number in, put it on do not call list. But it doesn't apply to this, I guess. Yeah, I know they are. But after it goes through the computer generated, if you answer the first two questions right, then they kick you over to hold on while I get you my supervisor. And it's always some foreign dude that gets on the phone. Tell you his name's Bob when it's probably Abdu. I understand everybody got to make a living. Don't get me wrong. I know that. But who on earth wants a job where you got people hanging up on you all day? Because most people that have that, have a kid or someone in their family that helps them with all of it when the time comes for the open enrollment thing. And most of them aren't going to sign up for their Medicaid A and B or whatever it is via some phone call that came across, Hell, for all you know, it could be a scammer just wanting to get your information. Which I'm lucky I don't have to worry about that. I'm a vet. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I'm good. I know there's the Board of Realtors in Indiana sells their list of their members to someone that sells life insurance, I think it is, or medical insurance, one of the two. I get a text every now and then, hey, because you're a member of the Indiana Association of Realtors, blah, blah, blah. We've got this insurance. Because it's a group plan. And if you don't have insurance, I suppose actually it's probably a good thing. But I was just texting back, say, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really need it. I'm a vet. All my stuff comes through the VA. And I'm so blessed to have, I am blessed to have that. I'm not going to lie. I joined the Army mainly because I couldn't go to college and I didn't want to work in a factory. And It was the only thing I seemed to do to get out of town. And it ended up being the best freaking. I mean, I didn't even plan or anything. I just one day, after I graduated high school, my senior year, I worked up at the lake at the marina that summer, which I'd done it the summer before. I was the guy that pumped the gas in the boat at the marina. Mom and Dad had the old cabin cruiser. I stayed on it. And well, after the season was over, and I come back home. Well, everybody's either at college or working, and there I was with nothing to do. I was sitting there one day and said, screw it, I'm going to join the service. And I drove downtown, walked in, looked at it, I said, don't even give me your spiel. I don't want to hear anything. I just want to sign up the paperwork, so I'm here to join the Army. I'm sure I made that guy's day too. Well, when would you like to take the test? I said, I don't care, as soon as possible. We can go in the morning, because you had to go up to Indianapolis, take the ASVAB test. I was like, all right, that sounds like a plan. Had I known better, I'd have said, let's do this at the end of the week. Well, we didn't have the internet back then, so you wouldn't have been able to even, find out information about what's on it, or, you know what I mean? Oh, some of them's legit. I'm telling you, Scotty, some of them are legit. I mean, they, because as many as I get, if they weren't legit, they'd been shut down by now. You know what I mean? Because there's too many of them. And they get your information from Medicaid or Medicare. They sell your information to get, hey, this person here has Medicaid. Here's their numbers, so you can try to get them to get A and B or whatever. But I'm like you, I'm not giving them any information either. But that spare of the moment decision ended up being the best decision I ever made in my life. Because having worked for myself all these years, I would have had any insurance, and a lot of the health issues I had, man, I mean, dude, I'd be $1 million in debt probably. I mean, because with my colon stuff, I was in and out of the hospital for 2 months before they done the surgery. I don't know how many times, and I'd be there for a week. And finally, they done the surgery, and I don't even know why. I have no idea what something like that would cost, but it'd be a lot. And back then, when I first started going to the VA, I was doing my apprenticeship in the appraisal stuff, because I had worked cable companies, since I got out of the service, and all of them had insurance. Or years ago, they used to have, when I first got in there, they had awesome insurance, man. I mean, I had an ACL done on my left knee. I think when it was all said and done, I think I had like $1,500. It was all I owed for everything: medicine, surgery, hospital, the whole shebang. But when I went to work for myself, I was like, I had gotten sick and I needed to see a doctor. And I don't know why I'd never done it before. But someone said, dude, you're a vet, man. Go down to Indianapolis to the VA a hospital. I'm like, really? I never even thought about that. And so I called down there, and they told me what I needed to bring. It was my DD 214. Anyone's been in the military knows what one is. I still have my original from 1987. Because back then they didn't have the internet, and they tell you when you're out processing, they pounded it in your head. Don't lose this, because if you do, it'll take over 6 months to get another copy. And you've got to have it to get your home loan and all that stuff. Any benefit you would apply for, you had to have your DD 214. Where now it's all online and you can just go in and pull it up. But I remember walking there, it was just took my picture and who do you need to see, and I told them what was going on. Okay, well, here, we'll take you down there. And I got in to see someone that day. Actually, it was pretty cool. And I was like, man, I could have been doing this all these years. Morning, Terry. Ah. What in the Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, wait. Text quiet man Curtis like, man, what the hell are you doing, dude? Come up here. I'm dying over here. There's 6 people in here. I appreciate all 6 of you. If you could share me out or whatever they say to do, maybe I'll generate more people, new people or something. I don't know. Because I know there's no way I'm getting up and doing this every morning, Monday through Friday in the wintertime if, there's only going to be less than 10 people in here every time. Heck, we could all just do a group chat and sit around and talk that way or something. I bet I don't get to see a sunrise this morning. So I think it's cloudy out today. I don't think we're supposed to get any rain though. We need rain. I got a big wood pile back here I've been collecting all summer, branches fall out of tree and stuff. And I can't burn it yet. There's a cornfield directly east of me, and the wind blows from the west usually. And, it wouldn't take nothing to set that thing ablaze. So I got to wait until we either get some rain. I seen the combine come by yesterday on the outer row. I don't know if they were picking it to just do a test on how much moisture it had in it, 1 row worth or what. But he only went around once, and then I didn't see him again. But there's a silo back there, like at the end of the field there, and there's a fan or something running in it all the time right now. Every year when they harvest it, it does it. I don't know if it's drying stuff or what, but it runs 24 hours a day. So I just figure it might be a silo. There's a silo there, I know, and maybe it's got a drying system or something in it. I don't know enough about it. You farming people might know that stuff. See, I must have pissed Rustic off real bad because he usually used to come up here all the time. But you think he'd at least tell me, hey, man, Bob, I don't get that. I don't understand people. If someone pissed me off, I usually reach out to him and ask him, hey, man, what's going on, But I guess not everybody's like that. Which it's all right. I let him come up all the time from the first day I done this. I think he came up. I don't know how long ago that was. It's been a couple years, hasn't it? No, it's been about 1.5 years, I guess. Because I started it last winter, I think. And when I started, Dad died last December. So it's only been about 1 year or so I've been doing it, I guess. I think I'll go back and find out the first day I done it. And that'll be I'll go up this year. And if it hadn't passed already, and I'll do the last day and I'll be done with it. Because I only started doing it after Hogleg quit because there wasn't nobody. You woke up every morning like, how am I going to do, So that was the summertime, come think of it. And I remember I went live just, on a whim. Hey, man, does anybody want to, hang out and talk or whatever? Because we're also accustomed to Hogleg's show. And it was a good show too, man. Way more professional than me. They actually had graphics and things. I don't have time to learn all that shit. You know what I mean? It's not for me. Because let's see, February. I don't know when you turn 62, do you have to wait like a month and a day or something to start your Social Security, or can you have it all filled out and ready to go when you turn 62? I don't know. I need to call them. I went online to do it, and their online file system where you fill it out or whatever, there's something going on with it. because you get to a point and you choose between, you're either applying for Social Security for disability or Social Security for retirement, right? So I checked the box for retirement. And when you hit enter, the next page it takes you to, and it starts asking you, how long have you not been able to work? Has it been over 12? And I'm like, that's for the disability side. And I'm like, that's not for me. So I actually sent an email and was like, can anyone help me out here? So I guess I'm just going to have to go into the Social Security place or call down there and make an appointment. So I think I went there one time. Might have been for something with that or whatever, but you go in there, you take a number and you sit there. Okay. But you go in the Social Security office and you sit there for, I don't know, I probably sat there for 15, 20 minutes. My number comes up. I go up to the window, and the only thing you're there for is they'll make an appointment for you to come back and see somebody. I swear to God, I was like, what? So I'm here to see someone today. Oh, no, that's not how it works. All you do now is you make an appointment, and then you come back when your appointment happens. And I just, okay, I guess that's what you do. Here we go. Shit. Let's see what AI says. I'm not real sure I'm a big fan of AI. Hold on a minute. I forgot to put A and B. Oh, they're scammers. I didn't know that. Oh, dude, I'm going to start having fun with them. Then I thought they were just legitimate people trying to, to sell insurance policies. Oh man. Okay, now I know it's a scam. All right, that's good. Okay, I'm going to have fun now. I didn't know that. Yeah, we're going to have fun with that. I'm going to have my camera on and reduce down on the taskbar, right? And every time the phone rings, I'm going to click it, bring it up, hit record, and start answer the phone, start talking to them. I will get some content out of that. Watch. Yeah, I didn't want to, do it to someone who was legitimately trying to make a living. You know what I mean? So now we're going to have some fun. That's cool. Thanks. Thanks, Scotty. I appreciate that immensely. Hold on, gotta see something real quick. Did the don't say I see did the Colts win? Doesn't say. You're supposed to tell me it. Fuckers, fuck you. Colts win yesterday. Anybody know? I haven't watched NFL since the kneeling situation. Just on principles. Ex-pro golfer Fonstini. Yeah, she's fine, man. I've seen some of her golf videos. She is definitely knows what she's doing to market that body of hers, and I don't blame her one bit. If I had it, I'd do it. Some of the people make some obscene money doing that shit on like what OnlyFans. OnlyFans pretty much jumped the shark by now, though, hasn't it? Morning, Uncle Lou. But in the early days, OnlyFans, man, some people made bank off that. Stacks of money. Hold on a minute, Mom wants something. I'll be right back. I got to make mama a protein drink thing. I'll be right back. This is when I need someone to be up here with me. You know what I mean? All right, my bad. Look, the chat never even moved. You know what? I'm just going to end this thing, man. I'll tell you what. I can go watch the news and do some work, I reckon. Yep. I appreciate y'all, man. And I'll see you Friday, maybe.